Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. My topic of today is that I'd like to go to Metaverse, but I don't know where to start. And I want to mention that this is a beginner level of speech. So if you already have bought NFTs or done projects in the Metaverse, this is not for you. This is for the beginners. And if you have any questions, just please type them in the chat box and I will answer them after my speech. Lena already introduced me. So my name is Krista Jänti, and I used to be a long time ago a developer, then a designer, and nowadays Metaverse advisor. I bought my first NFT in 2017, a crypto kitty, so I've been around in a while in this space. As you have seen during this conference, every speaker has their definition of what Metaverse is, and I will continue giving my point of view what I think Metaverse is, because you have seen that there are so many points of views. There isn't no exact definition what Metaverse is. It really depends from whom you ask. But my definition is that it's a virtual world where we are represented as avatars, or it's a new 3D layer of the internet. And of course, you have heard maybe multiple times what's the official definition of the metaverse, and then we have to go to 1992, the famous book Snow Crash, where the definition is Metaverse is a virtual shared space where physical and virtual reality converge. But I also loved what Sean Puri wrote in Twitter quite recently, that Metaverse actually isn't a place, but it's a moment in time where our digital life is more than our physical life. So in that sense, we are not yet there, but taking baby steps. So then, of course, you many times heard talk about Web3. So Web3 is, my definition goes, where users own and control their data and can monetize their creations. And when we talk about Web3, we are every time talk about blockchain-based infrastructure. And that means, especially when we talk with open blockchains, that there are no central authorities controlling. To put the separation between Metaverse and Web3. Well, Metaverse is a virtual world or enhanced reality. And with enhanced reality, I mean that there can be augmented layers or other virtual layers on the top of your real reality. And when we talk about Web3, it's always about decentralized internet. And how? Well, Metaverse can be augmented reality, virtual reality, or 3D dimensions, but you watch them through your 2D screens like mobile phone or desktop computers. And when we talk about Web3, there are usually decentralized apps. We talk about DApps, NFTs, decentralized autonomous organization. I'm not going to step into the world of DAOs today, but definitely they are a big part of the Web3 ecosystem. Also, when you talk about Metaverse, well, why there are ways to do gaming or training or events in those virtual spaces. You can run simulations, use vehicles that haven't been built, or go to an apartment that doesn't exist yet, but it exists in the virtual world, or you can go shopping in the virtual world. And well, why we are having this Web3 is, of course, it's more secure, more permissionless, and more democratized system than what we see today in today's internet. But basically, I love this picture. It's by Brian Solis. The biggest thing in Web3 is the connect, the wallet thing that enables so many things. Direct buying, your identity is behind your wallet. So this is the thing I believe most in Web3. Well, the big question is always, hey, where's the money? Why should I go to Metaverse? What's it is for me? I have divided where's the money thing is to 4 different categories. And the first one is, of course, the virtual land sales. And some examples are these cornerstone land, Decentraland, digital village. And you can see the virtual land sales is going on in the digital village. You can see the link on the right. But just take a look on one example of those virtual land. I give you example of cornerstone. I really hope you can hear the music too. Let's go. That's cornerstone. And there's limited sales going on as we speak. You can see the link on the left corner if you're interested. The second one where the money goes is avatar, and avatar accessories are a big business. We are talking about between 50 to 100 billion dollar business. So that's why so many companies want to rush into Metaverse. Examples, of course, are Fortnite. Fortnite has been a real forerunner in this space. Sandbox, Decentraland, Roblox, Zepeto, RFTK. Well, third thing why to go in the Metaverse is, of course, take your services, art galleries, showrooms, casinos to the Metaverse. This picture, what you see here, is me in Decentraland Metaverse Fashion Week space. It was built with Press X and Finnish designer Mert Otsamo. So we took Mert Otsamo's garment into Metaverse, as you can see on the left. Fourth thing, what I see a lot is a strategy to combine a physical thing and a digital thing. And you sell a digital thing as an NFT, and later on you get a physical thing. And that has been a really driving force in the Metaverse. As you can see on the right, there is an example of Gucci with combined their forces with the super plastic. So when you bought a Gucci NFT, you could get a super plastic toy later. And of course, Coca-Cola quite recently went to Metaverse. Well, they have had many Metaverse projects. This is just one of them. So if you buy a bottle of a can of Coca-Cola Dreamwork, You can get an access to the metaverse by scanning a QR code on the etiquette of the bottle or account. Let's take a look. Another example, because this is so popular strategy, is a Finnish gin called Arctic Blue. They launched their NFT quite recently, and when you buy that, you get a digital NFT as a certificate of this very, very exclusive gin, and you will get later on the actual gin. And the thing is that you can use NFTs as sort of access cards to more exclusive clubs. So you are not just getting a physical product, but later on you are going to get access to very exclusive events. And that has been very popular strategy as well. One more example is about soul shades, sunglasses that you can get both digital item and a physical item. So this is, as you've seen, this is a very popular thing to step into the metaverse, because you can make double revenue selling the same item twice. But I also think, as Mark Twain long time ago said, that during a gold rush, it's a good time to be in the pick and shovel business. So let's think more openly what this all metaverse means in the business in a wider context. Because we are talking about 3D thing, of course, that means that those 3D things need to be rendered in the cloud. So we see a lot growth happening in the cloud market. You're expecting the Azure, AWS, Google Cloud, they will grow even bigger. And of course, NVIDIA as well. Well, you have heard many times talking about NFTs. So I will stop here and just give my definition of NFTs. NFTs are non-fungible tokens. They are blockchain-based certification of the ownership of a digital or a physical project. So as you have seen, they don't have to be anymore just digital only objects, but they can be also physical. But NFTs are just one tool in the metaverse toolbox. There are many other tools as well. We saw before an example that NFTs can be used as access to real-life valuables, events, more exclusive content, and especially communities. Building communities is one of the things is just blooming. But please pay attention how to build those communities. Don't just step into the market, release an NFT, and hey, you have a community. You need to have a strategy how to make that community to grow and to bloom. NFTs, of course, have been popular because you can create secondary profits, because NFTs are built as a smart contracts. So you can code into the smart contract a slice that is going to be every time you are going to resell the item, you can build royalties part into that sell. So little by little, every time the product gets sold, you will get your cut of the sale. To put this into numbers, this is performance analysis made by Noah Levin, and this is just numbers based on Ethereum. And you can see on the left there are Nike, Dolce & Gabbana, Tiffany, Gucci, Adidas, and so on. And on the right, there is the total revenue they have made with NFTs. And you can see the numbers are quite staggering. So yes, Nike has done very good job. Okay, now you have seen this, but where to start? And the question is, of course, how to start with something that doesn't exist in the real world. And I would say that the baby step is actually start with something that does exist in the real world and add a level of virtuality little by little. This is one example that you can step into Metaverse with mapping real spaces. This is the example from a company called Sulava. Sulava has mapped their office in the 3D form, and they also map many other spaces. So with the QR code, you can step into their office and see what it's like. Very good thing, for example, if you run recruitment campaigns. And these are my own examples, how you can add virtuality little by little. You can try on virtual jewelry. This is from Jewels. You can see the link on the bottom of the video. Then I have mapped object with the Polycam app. This just took a few minutes, less than 5 minutes, because I'm not the patient person. So with the iPhone, I scan with the iPhone LiDAR, I scan the globe and just got it mapped as 3D object. Very cool. And of course, very popular way to step in the metaverse is good old green screen production. So you have green screen, and later on you can change this as a virtual environment. And then the big question is, why 3D? We have lived with 2D layers a long time. Why now we can see we are moving into 3D world more and more? Is it that we are living in the 3D world? Everything what we see here has depth. And when we see something through 2D screen with a photograph, for example, most of the e-commerce places are based on 2D pictures, but we have very hard time understanding scales, how big this actually is. We have seen many memes coming from, well, not mention the place, but where people have bought stuff and the size hasn't been quite there what they have thought about it. So 3D really helps you get into the scale, how big it is. You can virtual try on furniture, mats, whatever, even shoes, and then you understand, hey, this is the thing I want. And when you think about showrooms, online showrooms, they can be open 24 hours in a day. There can be a bot salesperson in the 3D form. And when you think about 3D experience compared to 2D experience, the 3D experience feel more like a little bit adventurous. So they engage people more than traditional web shops. So I mentioned storytelling. With the virtual world, you can create stories that are not possible with the 2D web search. To put this a little more in concrete, for example, this is from Bloomingdale. They launched the Metaverse store also quite recently, and I really love how they have done it, because they have not just mapped the real space, but they have done it more in a adventures and in a gaming style. You can wander around in the place, and when you see something interesting, then you are taken into more traditional web shop. But you have to understand this is concept that it is under construction. Like over 20 years back, ago, you remember you saw a lot of those internet sites that say, hey, this site is under construction. So Metaverse is very much under construction, but that also gives possibilities for you to define what you think it is. So explore and be curious. You can only understand what Metaverse is that when you study the thing yourself. So I would really suggest that you get a virtual reality headset. The older ones are really cheap at the moment and they're still quite good. So go there, have fun, play games, go into social events to understand what is the interaction that happens in those virtual spaces. Here I'm just having a good time playing games and it's good for your exercise too. Also, augmented reality is growing and growing because you get much nicer conversion rates when you actually have those virtual try-on possibilities in your web shop. I have put here good examples that if you still haven't tried virtual try-ons, please go and try IKEA, DressX, Idea Fit, and even the good old Snap Camera. Why I chose Snap Camera here is that the avatar world is really coming. We are going to see a switch between our real self and avatar selves. So Snap Camera, even though I think it's 5 years old, but it still gives you a little bit level of virtuality added to your real self. So your real self, then there's a filter add, and then there's a whole avatar. So we are going to have all this spectrum, what is going to happen in virtual meetings. And this is the next level that we are, with the help of artificial intelligence, we can make unique avatar by ourselves. I'm really waiting to make a customized avatar of myself. And I encourage you to step into the Web3 and buy NFT. I'm not going to go through the whole sequence. Yes, it's pretty hard. The learning curve is steep, but still start with very cheapest NFTs and you will have very low risk stepping into this space. But yeah, I still think that stepping into the metaverse is really an investment into the future. The world is definitely coming, and be prepared what is coming and what are the opportunities. Thank you. Now it's time for your questions.